I'm going to do the Leo energy reading for the 22nd to the 28th. And this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take what does. If it does not, leave what does not, as those energies may be meant for someone else. All right, so we're going to look at, let's see, get some cards here. So we're going to look at what you may be struggling with for the week, what conflicts you may have, what's going on for the week for Leo. We have Two of Wands trying to make a decision. I feel like there's been a couple other signs that have come out that it's struggling with trying to make a decision on things. Oh, we have the Devil card, so definitely some toxicity going on there. And then we have the Nine of Swords, so a lot of worry, a lot of stress. I feel like there's drama. I feel like there's negativity. There's definitely things holding you back, and that's why you're standing right here at the beginning of that crossroads, is because you're like, I don't know which way to turn, but you kind of have this that is around you. So also, is your worrying causing the Devil energy? Is your worrying causing stress? Is your worrying about things making a situation harder than it needs to be or that it should be? All right, so I'm going to get my Lenormand, and we're going to clarify this Two of Wands. Two of Wands for Leo. We have the Child. Could be something that you have been doing for a very long time, or could have to do with a friendship. Maybe you're trying to decide what you want to do with a friendship. So sometimes we outgrow our friendships, we outgrow our relationships, and it just isn't something that we don't feel the same about it. So let's see. With the Devil card, we have the Fish. I feel like the fish can represent abundance, but I almost feel like it's kind of this way and that way, because you have some fish that are fishing one way and the other fish that are fishing the other way, and I feel like it's going back and forth with this Devil card, and it's just you're not really sure what to do within a relationship. We have the Swans with the Nine of Swords. You're worrying about a relationship, which that's what I had a feeling with when we had the Child come out, is that there's a relationship that you've been in for a very long time. I'm not sure if it has to do business, family member, friend, partnership, but I feel like it's gotten to the point where there's a lot of toxicity, where there's a lot of back and forth, where there's a lot of questioning, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of negativity. Maybe somebody is doing some habits that are not very good, that are starting to affect you in a negative way, and you're like, well, I don't know, do I stay and do I help this person, or is this person helpable, or do I want to keep myself in this energy because it's really starting to affect me and other areas of my life, and it's taking on a bigger life of its own, and do I want to stay in this, right? Do I want to continue in this? All right, so what is it Leo needs to look at? We have Temperance, Sagittarius, Balance, Compromise. We have Six of Pentacles, which represents sharing, giving, back and forth. And then we have Three of Pentacles, getting down to work, getting down to business. I feel like this may be something that you have been struggling with for a while, and you've been going back and forth. And that's why I feel with those fish, it was going back and forth. And I feel like it's something that you've been struggling with for a while, but you're getting to the point where you're like, something has to be done. Something has to be changed. Something has to be different. And if it's you want to stay in this relationship, what is that compromise? What needs to be worked on? We have the fire and the water, and trying to figure out that balance between those two. But we also have Six of Pentacles, which is sharing. But I also feel like it has to do with communication. And it's like you both have to be willing and want to work on the situation, that it can't be one-sided. If there's only one side that wants to work on it and the other side doesn't, obviously things are not going to work out. You're going to come to that stalemate. You're not going to be able to have that compromise and to figure things out. All right, so let me get a Lenormand for, we have the tulips with Temperance. There could be somebody new that's coming into your life. For some reason, I'm kind of feeling a couple different things, that there could be somebody new, a Sagittarius, that's coming in that makes you feel happy. Maybe they've reached out to you, they've given you a gift, or you want to give them a gift, or you're feeling excited about this blossoming relationship. But I also feel that it could be, if it's a current relationship and it's not somebody new, how do you get that with this relationship with this devil energy in it? How do you get it back on track? Right? How do you get it back to those tulips, where that giving and that receiving, and where things become more loving? We have the storm clouds with the sharing. I feel like your communication with this person, the giving and receiving, like it's not happening, like it's very toxic. It's very one-sided. I feel like when you start to communicate with this person, that it blows up, that it turns into this fight. It's like the ram and the lion, like it's butting heads, like you butt heads. I feel like that this conversation is just like each person wants to stand their own ground, and they don't want to compromise with the other person, and that's where it causes a lot of conflict. It's like the storm clouds, but it's yet the sun. And I feel like it's how you approach the conversation is how you're going to be able to work this through. So we have the Three of Pentacles, and then we have the Tower. I just feel like the Tower represents a challenge, right? The Tower is very challenging, but it also has the Sun over here. And I feel like you have to work on those challenges, that you can't let those challenges overtake you, that you can't let the challenges, be what consumes you or this relationship, because then you feel like you can't get out, you feel like you're in the dungeon. So I feel like this is something that you have to look at. How do I work on this? How do I get past this? How do I proceed from this? How do I move on from this? Sometimes we could just get so overwhelmed. We're like, wow, it's just such a huge mountain of things to do. How am I going to get past this? But you one brick at a time, right? One situation at a time, figuring things out one at a time, and not looking at the big picture, but just doing it one at a time. All right, so future energies coming in for Leo with this situation, right? With this decision, with this choice in this relationship. Eight of Cups, walk away. Walk away from what? Walking away from what it is that you're holding on to mentally, that you work through it, that you process it and you let it go, or is it walking away from this relationship? We have the World, what's coming in, the World, right? Success and victory, and the feeling like, finally. It's because it's like you've gone from this Eight of Cups to the World card, and that's because you've made that process, that progress, right? That you've walked away from. What does that Eight of Cups represent to you? What does that mean to you, right? What is that? And after you've done that, you're walking towards the World card. We have King of Pentacles. I feel like there's a calmness, there's a steadiness, there's a working together, there's a progress, there's a I just feel like a calmness when I saw that card. When that card turned over, I was like, oh, I feel calmer, I feel better, because of this Eight of Cups, because of what you've let go of. All right, so let's get some clarification for this Eight of Cups. Anchor, 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 anchor. I love it because it's anchoring you, right? That you can finally settle down, that you can finally put your anchor down, that you can finally move forward, that you can go from this point forward. Things get better, things feel better, things, like I said, when that King of Pentacles came out, I felt calmer. All right, the World card And then we have the tree where we're setting down roots, right? You're setting down roots. You're setting down rules within the relationship, right? Boundaries that you're saying, okay, we're not going to let it get to this point of the Two of Wands, the Devil, and the Nine of Swords again. We're not going to let it get to that because I don't want to get there. So I'm going to make sure that I work on it no matter how big the challenge is. I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to make sure that I don't get to that again, that we cut that off before that happens, right? Setting down roots and having that stability and how to work forward. And then we have the Fox with the, just be careful of false intentions, right? False intentions from your side, and that you don't fall back into this where things were before. I feel like because of the way things are, that's what you're used to. And it's easy to fall back into that, right? When we have those, we try to make change and we're like, oh, change is really hard, right? Change is really overwhelming. Change is really hard. So it's so much easier just to go back to the way things are, even though they seem easier, but they're not good. They're not positive. They're not how you want to have things be. I feel like you want that change. That's why you're at this crossroads. That's why you have this Two of Wands, is that you want to change something that has been going on a certain way for a really long time. Yeah, it's easy to fall back into that pattern, and I feel like you've done that before. I feel like you've kept going back to that pattern. But you have to be careful about people's intentions, about your intentions, that you don't fall back into that. Because if you want change, you have to be changed. You have to work on it. You have to make those changes. You have to set yourself up in new patterns, right? A new way of doing things. It's like whenever you want to achieve something, like if you want to just for like a new way of thinking, right? If you want to get yourself into a new routine or a new habit, that for the first few weeks or months that it's like, oh, this is so different. This is hard, and it seems like more work. But then once you start doing that, that becomes your new routine. So that's what you're used to, right? That you don't even think about it, that you're automatically doing those things because that's the patterns that you've set down. And I feel like this is what you're doing here, is changing those patterns. You're setting new patterns, and that it's going to have a time of adjustment, and you just need to hang in there and make those changes and work on it, right? Don't give up. All right, so let's get an oracle message, final message, oracle message for Leo for this week. This is my energy oracle. So we have 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, and that is the third eye chakra, and that is that inner voice, right? That inner knowing, that is that insight and that clear thought of, okay, because knowing your direction, knowing what you want to have happen, and seeing clearly that, okay, I have to change some things up, that I can't be wishy-washy, right? Like these fish. I can't be wishy-washy. I can't keep going back and forth. I can't keep falling back into old habits because it's not good for me and I'm not going to get anywhere. All right, so let's get a wisdom oracle. Go the distance. Perfect. Go the distance. Don't give up. That's what I've been saying. Go the distance and don't give up, because you never know what's right around the corner. Right? Go the distance. Push through. Even though you may have some blockages or some walls and some challenges with this tower here, don't give up. Keep working at it, because if you're determined, then you have this where you let that go, right? You let that go, and then you set down anchor, right? You let this go, and then you set down your anchor. You have those roots, right? You start growing those roots, and you're learning, right? What makes you happy to succeed and feeling like you're on top of the world. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.